My name is Arushi Sana, and I'm the founder of a biopellet factory called Santera Industries, something very relevant to today's theme of fossil fuels and the future that we are heading into. I'm an engineer by degree, just like you all, a climate conscious person and enthusiast by choice, an entrepreneur by accident, and your friendly neighborhood eco friendly auntie on Instagram that occasionally judges you for maybe using too much plastic. But plastics is not the entire problem, is it? The bigger problem that we have today is pollution. Why is it that when we wake up in our cities every morning, it feels like we're inhaling from a gas chamber? Because unfortunately, India today is the fourth largest polluted country in the world. As you can see, the kind of life expectancy that you lose is only due to pollution and equal to consuming multiple cigarettes every single day, whether you stay in NCR or in the south or anywhere in the country for that matter. You know, it's not just cars and factories that cause this pollution. We have tons and tons of fossil fuels that are being used every single day. You know, we figured out how to go to Mars, but the thing that we haven't been able to solve is how to fix the stubble burning problem. How do we stop burning our farmlands? An equally contributing factor to the pollution crisis is fossil fuels, apart from vehicular and factory emissions, something that India uses 50% of today. Once upon a time, this number used to be 80%. But thanks to wonderful initiatives by the government, today, India is the third largest solar power in the world. Our 77-year-old country has managed to achieve this magnanimous feat only because of collaborations with the International Solar Alliance, a body governed by the United Nations, something that I was very fortunate to be a part of in terms of climate advocacy. These are the types of renewable energy that we have. We have solar, we have wind, we have geothermal, we have biomass fuel, and we have hydro energy. Biomass pellets is something that has been going around in the country for the last 2 decades, but still not been implemented on a large scale, at least not as large as solar. India has set a target to meet 500 gigawatts of its energy requirements through renewable sources in the next couple of years. My company's solution, Santera Industries, is part of the biopellet solution that will focus on enabling India to meet its net zero energy requirements by 2070. I started off as just a climate advocate, but today I realize that it's not, if you just keep advocating for things, there's not going to be enough change on the ground level. I started conducting multiple cleanup drives across beaches and cities of India. I also represented our country at multiple global forums in terms of policy making for building a sustainable and a greener country. And today, I'm happy to announce that we have set up our own unit where we build eco-coal. So what does Santera do? In the last 5 decades or so, we've normalized burning crop waste so much that 40% of India's stubble waste is still burnt. It's no myth as to the problem that NCR residents face today in terms of both health and quality of living, something that I'm sure you all are aware of considering your residence here. You know, farmers don't have affordable options, and which is why they end up burning all the waste. And guess who pays the price? Our lungs. We take that same agro waste from farmers, which they would have burnt otherwise, and convert it into pellets through the machinery, specialized machinery that we have at our unit. Most of the waste that we collect comes from a 20-kilometer radius in Nagpur, and the pellets that we make from this agro waste is then sent to the National Thermal Power Corporation at Nagpur, which uses it to generate electricity. It is a direct replacement of black coal. We are now powering the economy by just waste. 82% of farmers have been providing us with their raw materials such as rice, corn, soya waste, cotton waste, and more. We calculate the ideal blend that is required to achieve a calorific value which is good enough to be used at the thermal power plant, and we use multiple combinations of multiple crop waste for the same. We don't just help the India's energy requirement goals, we also purify the air around us. Governing bodies came and examined our factories' surrounding environment and came to the conclusion that we have managed to successfully reduce the AQI in our entire environment in our entire ecosystem by 15% just by preventing the stubble waste problem. We are turning pollution into prosperity, one pellet at a time. This has only been possible because of this government's focus on not just meeting net zero energy requirements, but by enabling companies to be a part of the change, by enabling the youth to be a part of the change. For somebody like me, who does not come from a business background, I must say that the ease of doing business in India helped me quite a bit to set up my own unit and factory. We have policies like the green subsidies, we have policies where we get tax benefits, we don't have to pay GST if you're part of a green business. And these are things that really helped us in making the decision to start our own unit. What our factories are able to do is reduce the electricity generation costs of this. Yeah? What our factory has been able to do is reduce the electricity generation costs and thereby reducing your electricity bills as well. We've managed to create an environmental impact by empowering farmers, reducing the AQI, and most importantly, we've been able to save agricultural lands from being burnt. I also did a project in the Maldives, which was a coral reef restoration project. Of course, I take care of waste on the land, but I must say that I loved doing it underwater as well. The Maldives has several volunteering programs where you can dive under the water, place a coral frame under the water and allow them to repropagate, which ensures that the coral reefs that are getting depleted around all the oceans in the world are able to regenerate. I had a video for this as well, but I think, is it not possible? Okay. And today, similar coral reef restoration projects are being implemented in the Maldives. When I had the privilege of being the United Nations Social Ambassador for Change at the COP28 conference in Dubai, I got quite the global perspective on what climate change looks like, what climate action looks like, and what multiple countries are doing to come together under the same roof and build solutions which don't just prevent climate atrocities, but they also mitigate them by keeping in mind marginalized communities of the world. Because they are the largest benefactors of not just climate subsidies around the world, but they're also the ones to face the most devastating effects of it. I realized that there are only 4 pillars to sustainable development, and they are planet, people, profit, and policy. These 4 Ps are crucial to not just building a greener world, but also for us as regular consumers of this economy, as regular people, as citizens, to fulfill the 4 Rs of a circular economy. Reduce, reuse, renew, and recycle. These are principles to live by for anybody in this world who is looking to make a small difference. In fact, it's not even about making a difference anymore, it's the necessity, it's a need of the hour. We've seen that to drive change, you can upgrade infrastructure, you can integrate technology, and you can change your behavioral patterns as consumers. But what is it that you can do as students today? As students, I recommend leading a low-waste life as much as you can from your hostels. Of course, I'm not going to ask you to compost your waste. I'm not going to ask you to drive an electric car or to install solar panels, because that's for a more residential perspective. But the least that you can do is use a bamboo toothbrush. You can say no to plastic cutlery in your canteens as much as possible. You can choose natural self-care products that come without the plastic packaging. We have enough alternatives in the Indian market today. We can cut down on our consumption as shoppers. You don't have to buy a new dress every time you go somewhere. Choose quality over quantity every time that you want to buy something. Talk to your college and university about implementing low waste practices on the campus. For example, e-waste recycling, and also starting a community compost pit on campus itself so that all your food waste gets recycled, and also reducing plastic cutlery in your canteens or restaurants here. You can volunteer with your friends for waste management initiatives, for cleanup drives. You can do tree plantation drives. I was fortunate enough to be a part of the world's largest cleanup drive, which was on the Guinness Book of World Records last year, as part of the Madhya Pradesh government's initiative of Ek Ped Maa Ke Naam, which happened in Indore. Most importantly, since you are the workforce of tomorrow, it's important to start looking for job opportunities in the sustainable development sector. Until and unless you don't look at these things as a solution, you're engineers. We're here to solve problems, right? Not be a part of them. Be a part of the solution. Look for opportunities in renewable energy companies, even if you don't want to do something purely technical. Like this is a question that I always get from people, that I'm not very good at my technical skill sets at college, so how do I just start building a solar panel for a company, or how do I use my set of skill sets? But you know, it's not just about technology. The entire economy goes way beyond that. You have policy makers, you have people at managerial positions, you have marketing and sales executives to market the technology that engineers create. Choose something according to your skill sets, because today sustainability is going to be the most lucrative field for at least the next 30 years, or at least till India meets its 2070 net zero energy requirements. Don't be an activist, act. Because in today's times, activism is not going to get you anywhere. And I say this at every university I speak at, because a lot of students feel that it's important to raise their voices, be a part of protests, but it's not going to fetch anything. It's not going to create change. The purpose of activism was to create awareness at one point, but today, action is needed, not activism. I'm going to leave you here with one of my favorite quotes from the Bhagavad Gita. Karmanye vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhur mate sangosva karmani. Which means, keep doing your duty, your karma, without worrying about the fruit of all your actions. Do your duty as a citizen today, because this earth is important, your country is important, and your health is important. Your health is equal to the planet's health. Thank you.